Come on, it's a nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Wow.
What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 5 of the Art of Medicine podcast. With me is the doctor who cares, Dr. Michael Uphughes. How you doing today, man?
Fantastic, Ron. Good to see you again. And this time we are safely ensconced out at the ranch in Inverness, Florida. So this is a little slice of heaven out here, a little 8-acre ranch, 5 horses, 4 donkeys, 3 goats, 36 chickens, 11 dogs.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here, man.
Beautiful out here. It's a fantastic place. Very peaceful in the morning. And what's weird about this is you just took, made the drive in. It's literally like 3 minutes from Sunshine Cava. I mean, literally, it's crazy. But it seems like you're 100 miles from anywhere out here. It's really nice.
Quick shout out to Sunshine Supply 352. Love them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm telling you guys, get down there. Sunshine Supply 352 Cava and Kratom. The conversations, once again, varied and vociferous, as I like to say.
Damn right.
Unbelievable. Any topic is talked about down there, and anything goes down there. It's a fantastic place. Very open-minded people. Smart people down there, too. And I kid you not, it is everything from adult stores to quantum physics that is talked about out there, because I had these conversations last week, and you never know who you're going to engage with and have these conversations with out there. But it's a fantastic group, and they've really built a nice community out there. Yeah. It's Heather and Troy Harvey, and they've just done a fantastic job in building a safe place for, especially people who don't want to drink. Let's face it, there's a lot of people who don't want to drink at all. And, they turn to Cava Kratom bars, and it's really a great community that they developed out there.
Yeah, a little bit of a shift, though, for us this episode. We're sitting here sipping a martini, got a steak on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I like it all, as you know. So, we're making up, we're doing a tomahawk ribeye tonight, porterhouse as well. Tomahawk ribeye alone, those 3.6 pounds, that'll take care of us. And then baked potatoes, lots of Irish butter, Kerrygold butter, and then we've got our pomegranate lemon drop martinis. We're having a good night tonight.
Also surrounding us is 11 dogs.
Yes.
Awesome.
11 dogs around.
Pomeranians love dogs. Love dogs. They're fucking cool.
So the ones that they'd recognize down at Sunshine Supply, that would be Luna, who's there with me most of the time, and also her father, Odin. So he was in there today, too. He's 4 pounds, she's 5 pounds. The other pounds are a little bit bigger. So
what do you think their body fat
they're all
percentage
sweet.
is?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. They're all puff. It's tough to know what they are.
Yeah. Well, we would like to... Our episode today is going to be based on training. Beautiful. Best thing in the world. You're stressed. Ever have any issues, just go fucking train.
It's the best antidepressant around. You're absolutely right. I think we were talking about that tonight. Somebody, this was at the Cava Bar, of course. Somebody was talking about antidepressants and the side effects that they were having. And this one person actually had put on, 30, 40 pounds being on antidepressants. And we started talking and said, you want to take care of depression, train. Start training. Even if it's 20 to 30 minutes walking in the sun every day. I mean, you're in a place where we've got fantastic weather, 365. We go through snaps where it's not, but I mean, pretty much every day of the year you can get out and walk. So at the very least, go out and do that. It releases endorphins, serotonin release. It's just fantastic for your brain. Yeah. Fitness is not just for the body. You think about the amount of blood that starts pumping because your heart rate goes up and so forth. Well, that's all going to your brain as well. So very good. It's not just for the muscles. It's for the entire body, including the brain. Very, very important. Ron brings up a great point. It's a great probably the best antidepressant known to man is exercise. And get out in the sun and take a walk.
That's it. Everybody's got to start somewhere, so don't be bummed out where you're at training too, because like I said, everybody's got to start somewhere. So no matter what shape you're in, no matter what stage of life you're in, go train, even if it's walking 20 minutes outside. Simple.
Yeah, people have come to me, and everybody knows about our training regimens or some of our crazy stuff we do, twice a day training and all that. But with all kidding aside, as a physician, when people come to me, look, you have to take into account where they are at in their fitness journey. And some people are literally in a wheelchair. Now, is that the majority of people? No. But in those cases, fine. Then you go out and you go for a little spin in the wheelchair, actually, to stay active. Again, in the sunlight if possible. But there's always things you can do. So at the very least, most of our patients, though, to be honest, they can walk. I mean, so really, if nothing else, get out and walk, like Ron is saying, 15, 20, 30 minutes. And you try to make it 7 days a week. A lot of people say, 3 to 4 days, and they try to cut it off. It's like, why? I mean, that's actually a gift from God to be able to get out and move. You should use that gift.
Every day.
Every single day, because we're given that gift. Some people would love to be able to walk and can't. So
Yep.
I always keep that in mind every day. I'm very grateful to be able to train at a high level. So.
And before we really get into the episode, you just finished a 75 hard routine, right?
Yes, 75 hard. So 75 hard consists of a 75-day routine where you train twice a day, minimum 45 minutes. One of those workouts has to be outside. You drink a gallon of water a day. You read at least 10 pages of a self-improvement book every day. And it's just a fantastic program. So, and you pick a diet basically and stay with it, which in my case wasn't really difficult. So I cut alcohol. I mean, big deal. That's not hard at all. But my diet consists primarily of just lean meats, fruits, vegetables, and fish out of a can, usually like salmon or tuna. So my diet is very pared down. If I'm gonna, if I'm hungry during the day at all, what I will have is a whey protein shake in lieu of a meal. That is a meal for me. So that's the other thing. Try to keep the diet simple. And the way I boil it down for people is eat whole foods, mostly plants if possible, and not too much. That's how to boil it down. And organic fruits and vegetables when you can, always, of course, because we want to keep the pesticides and all the herbicide and stuff out of this equation. So eat whole foods, mostly plants, not too much. And you can always substitute with a plant-based protein shake. There's some great brands out there. Vega's a brand that I've used. Tony Horton's got a brand out there that's just a plant-based. So any plant-based protein, you really can't go wrong with that. And again, you get 30 grams of protein out of that. That's plenty, and it's filling, and it carries you through the next few hours. It's much better than going and grabbing handfuls of chips.
I'm a freak in the morning. I wake up with an 80-gram protein shake.
Yeah, Ronnie's known for his 80, 90 grams in the morning. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's easy to get down. Just got slamming.
But he's
going.
a big guy, so is it whey protein?
Yeah, it's
whey
it's
protein.
whey.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, how you feel like? What is the baseline of training you'd recommend for people?
So, if we're going to talk, we're going to probably go off on another tangent tonight, folks. But I will tell you this: as a physician recommending functional training, so function meaning you want to keep your body functioning at a high level as long as you're on this planet. Okay, that's what it comes down to. So, what we look at is 3 days of resistance training. Okay, which can be body weight type exercises. You can use bands, exercise bands, stretching bands, and so forth. You can use sandbags. You can use weights. You can use kettlebells. You can use TRX. There's just so many different ways to do resistance training. So 3 days of resistance training, about 45 minutes on those 3 days. 4 days of zone 2 training for about 45 minutes. So we speak in zones. Zone 2 is 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And the reason for this is it increases your aerobic capacity over time. So 4 days, zone 2 training, 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. The way you calculate your maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age, whatever your age is. That gives you what roughly your maximum heart rate would be, and then you multiply that times 0.6 or 0.65. And there you go. It gives you your 60 to 70% maximum heart rate. And then we talk about 1 day of zone 4 training, and that's Ron and I both love this training. And that's HIIT training, so that's 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. And we only really recommend that once a week. Some people do it twice, and you really only need 12 to 20 minutes of accumulated zone 4 training per session. You don't need a lot of it, but increases your anaerobic capacity. I mean, in very seasoned athletes, I think when Ron was doing his professional wrestling, some of those athletes are going, 40 to 70 minutes?
Yeah, no.
That? And so that's a whole different threshold then. But for most of us, 12 to 20 minutes, it's not a lot of time, but it's super intense when you're going through it. So The prohibitive factor, the factor people don't like, is that it's so intense when you're going through it. And so that's the thing. So Zone 2 training builds your aerobic capacity for long-term health and endurance. That's why we recommend it. So long-term health and endurance. Secondly, it increases your mitochondrial health, which are the powerhouses of our cells. It's where the energy in every single one of our cells is generated. So it increases mitochondrial density and also the mitochondrial efficiency. It's one of the organelles inside of all of our cells. You get improved cardiovascular efficiency. It strengthens the heart and also increases the chamber size of the heart, so you have a larger stroke volume of blood to squeeze out of the heart into your system. And it lowers your resting heart rate over time, which is super important, right? To lower your resting heart rate, as long as you're not in heart block, that is, the healthier you are. It also, again, it lowers stress, and it quickens your recovery from exercise. You're less likely to overtrain if you're doing zone 2 training 4 times a week. And then the benefits, we're just talking Zone 4 training. I do want to go over that. So Zone 4 training, it raises your lactate threshold, where everybody knows lactic acid, that burn that you get. It makes the body more efficient, and it increases the clearing of lactic acid more rapidly. It increases your VO2 max, which is the body's ability to use oxygen in any kind of exercise type session or intense physical training. It increases your speed and power gains. And you also get caloric afterburn. So everybody's heard about this afterburn effect you get. And so with HIIT training, you'll get this afterburning effect where you will burn calories at least for the next 12 to 24. And in some cases at high levels, again, when you were training for your professional wrestling days, it can be up to 36 to 48 hours of, and that's probably accounts for about 15% of the burning. But still, 36 hours out from the training, it's pretty amazing that it has that kind of a punch from that training. And then we try to include, some yoga, tai chi, or qigong 2 or 3 times a week if you can, to increase mobility, balance, your core strength, and your flexibility. And the reason these activities are important, so what we were talking about before is kind of the hard training, right? Resistance training, aerobic training, HIIT training, that's hard training. We consider this to be soft training, so to speak, yoga, tai chi, qigong. A lot of this is more energy work. It engages the parasympathetic nervous system, so it lowers your heart rate, it relaxes you, and it decreases your cortisol levels, and increases and enhances your tissue repair capacity. So it's very important to do those activities. Hot yoga is always my favorite. You probably have yours. Some people like to do tai chi. And there's lots of little videos you can pull up now and just do Tai Chi, Qigong, which is fantastic. I love all types of yoga, but my favorite has been, there was Bikram yoga back in the day, which was a 90-minute hot yoga session in a 105-degree room, 90 minutes. Then I went to Sumit's yoga, that was 80 minutes. But any hot yoga at 105 degrees, I enjoy. Really enjoy that.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet, dude. So many wonders to train, and man, love
Yeah,
it. Absolutely,
100%. So when you're asking, so if somebody comes to me and they ask, how do you kind of determine how fit I am or where I should start? Well, we have some easy parameters in functional medicine. I'll give you just 5. One is your resting heart rate. So anything, 60 or below is unbelievable. It's fantastic. Especially in men, if your resting heart rate is 75 or above, you want to take a look at that and start training yourself. Obviously, you want to be seen by a cardiologist, make sure there's nothing pathologic going on with the heart. But most importantly, if there's not, the way to get that down is to start doing a lot of your Zone 2 training and some resistance training. That'll automatically start bringing that resting heart rate down. Of course, meditation and yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, that'll help bring it down as well. Grip strength is another one that we test, and we can test in the office. Your VO2 max, which again is your body's ability to utilize oxygen during exercise. There's a very interesting test we do called the sit to stand test, so if you think about this, if you're in the upright position, you actually lower your body down to the sitting position on the floor. Everybody should try this one to see if they can do it. And you cross your legs by the time you sit down, kind of Indian style, and then stand from that position without using your arms. Try that sometime and see how that goes. Because if you think about that, that is a measure of not only strength, but it's strength, it's power, it's flexibility, and it's also balance. So you're testing several things simultaneously just by doing a sit-to-stand test. And then lastly it comes down to the proprioceptive system in your body, and that's balancing on one leg. So those are the 5 parameters we use in functional medicine. People say, well, where am I? Where do I stand? We'll do those tests, and each one has a rating, and anyone can look those up. And that's how we come up with your baseline, and then we build from there. So again, as Ron said, we don't just tell people immediately go to the gym. That's just not the way to handle this. Yeah. If somebody can't even do a regular air squat without assist, that's where they have to start. Holding on to the back of a chair and doing maybe quarter or half squats to begin with until they can do them. So that's where you start. So never, as Ron points out, don't get down on yourself and think there's judgment. There's never judgment. But my point is, it's never too late to start. Yeah. Never too late to start. Get into it. Get the physical training in and move in. You're going to feel a lot better, and you will increase your longevity. And who of us wants to get into our older years and not be functional? You want to be functional as long as you can. I'm 58 now, and I think I look back, 40 years ago, and I'm doing the same kind of training I was doing then. It really hasn't changed much. The amount of weight I lift, of course, I brought down because it's not worth getting hurt over at this point. I'm not competing, but I essentially do the same type of training, edge back on the weights a little bit and the amounts and so forth, because it's not, it's no longer, it's not about ego. It's about maintaining your functional wellness is what it's about.
Even at the highest level too, it's all about growth. You know what I'm saying? It's all about getting better from where you were. So at the start, just the slightest growth matters. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, if somebody wasn't able to do an air squat, it's about getting to the point where you can do an air squat. Same way, like if I was trying to break past a barrier on how much weight I was trying to lift, it's all about breaking barriers.
Correct.
Being able to do shit that you couldn't before, no matter what level you're at.
Correct. And he brings up a great point. And someone's barrier might be, well, let's go for a 20-minute walk. Well, maybe they get winded after 5. Good. Now we got your baseline. Fantastic. There's nothing to be ashamed about there. You say, okay, I can do 5. So over the course of several weeks, you try to get an extra 5 in, until you build up to 10. You get to 10, your next goal is going to be 15. You just have to be very patient with yourself and be gentle on yourself. Above all, some people just get, they get gung-ho about it, and they have these very, very high expectations. And the expectations will come with time. You really don't want to push it to the point where you wind up injured, miserable, or having a bad time, because you also want it to be fun at the same time.
Yeah.
You really do.
Another thing too is, especially for me, you're gonna have off days training. You know what I mean? You might have one day where you expect to absolutely dominate an exercise, and you're just lacking. And that's the way that some of these rough days go. So even if you are getting to a certain point, for example, you weren't able to do an air squat. One day, you finally fucking do an air squat. A day or two later, you can't do it again. That's all right. You achieved it once. You could do it again. Don't let that fucking tear you down.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic point, because we all have those days. You get to the gym and I'll tell you, you hit a wall. The first set, all of a sudden, it's like somebody just slammed on the brakes. And what you have to keep in mind is there's so many factors. So nutrition is huge, right? If you're not getting 4 to 5 small meals a day, that's going to impact it. If you're not getting the proper amount of vitamins and minerals, that's not going to do it. If you're not getting enough protein, you're going to come up short. If you're not getting enough water, if you're not hydrated, that's going to set you back. Hydration, I would say, is the single most important. And when you start to look at training and thinking back to all the training I've done in my lifetime, when I've approached a gallon or more a day, which is what we pretty much recommend if you're training heavily, it has always enhanced performance. So, yeah. And God, to think about the days in high school when swimming, water polo, football, baseball, and the coach, we didn't have any water at the practices. We'd be out there for 2-3 hours, no water, no good. And you think now the science has changed so much, they wouldn't think about going through a practice without not only water but nutrients in there too, and electrolytes and so forth.
That's it.
Just makes sense.
That's it. Yeah, baseline. Every single practice you go to now, they're gonna have water. They're gonna have Gatorades on the sidelines. That's just the way it goes.
It's the way it goes, and it should have been like that back then. But back then it was, tough it out, and it's like, tough it out. You're decreasing my performance.
Yeah,
like you
that's
can
it.
make the whole team a lot better if you just gave us some water.
Just a little bit of something.
It is so crazy to think about now. The other thing Ron brings up too is, on those days where you're having difficulties and you feel like you have setbacks, what you do there is be gentle on yourself and just pull back. So if you were planning on doing, again, some squats and so forth, and it's a day where you just don't feel like you can do it, go out for the walk. Just go out for the walk. Don't even think twice about it, because you've done something that day. You've done something good for yourself. You've taken time for yourself, and you will end up feeling better mentally when you get done with that walk. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. So never be afraid to just, if you're having an off day, pull back. I know we have expectations when we start a training program or we walk into the gym with, kind of a set workout about what that might look like. But really, depending on how your joints feel that day, it's another thing. Joint pains start to occur when you get older. So what I'll do some days, heavy, next session light, next session moderate, then go back to heavy. Then I pull back to light. You have to listen to your joints above all, because you don't want to wear them out prematurely. I've done it. I did it with my right hip. I wound up with a hip replacement in 2019. I was training for Spartan races and training 4 times a day. It was crazy stuff. I was doing a lot of plyometrics. It was nuts. Plyometrics out the wazoo. And I, back then I'm thinking more is better. Well, it wasn't better. I wore out a right hip as a result of it. But I'm just grateful to be back in the gym training at the level I am now, despite that. So yeah, it was the right hip that went really something. But that was from years and years of just hard, all-out training. And at that time, literally 4 times a day training.
Fuck, man. I wish we had a camera in here right now. You have every right to be talking about this. You're a fucking unit. What body fat percentage do you think you're at?
4%.
Right
The last time I checked. Last time I checked was 4%.
Straight unit. Most of these doctors are going to tell you about training. Probably haven't been in the gym in last few years. This guy's in the gym every goddamn day, pushing. I see him in there. He's looking like a straight animal. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it feels good to be at this. I have to tell you, to be at this level. I do have guys in their early mid-20s coming up and saying, "What's your secret?" And so, my the honest to goodness truth is, the secret is I joined a gym in 1984 and basically never let my foot off the gas. That's the secret. I mean, I hate to say that there's some secret potion you can take, but there's not. And then some guy said to me, "What are you stacking?" That was another beautiful one. I said, I'm stacking 42 years of training and diet is what I'm stacking. He's referring to a stack of some kind of crazy steroid stack, and I'm like, that's just not how it works, Jack. I mean, I'm 58 years old. You don't wind up looking like this on accident. It was very much on purpose. Years ago, when I remember being a kid of 14, 15, and you look at, I think we brought this up in a previous podcast, guys are probably in their 60s, your typical beer drinking dad watching sports on the weekend. And I said at that point, I literally said it out loud, I'm never going to be one of those guys. And I'm not. And I never will be. One reason I can't stand TV at all. So I'd rather read. And Ron knows this. So I'm known for around there, especially there for the Kava Bar. I mean, I read between 4 to 8 hours a day. That's a habit that's never really left me since medical school, because you embark on lifelong learning. And to me, feeding the brain like that every day, you can never know too much. And the doctors, I think, that don't have their egos in check and think they know it all is really sad, because medical science changes every single day, and there's no single area of medicine you can keep up with adequately. I do my damnedest. I read every day, but you can't know too much. So always keep reading and always keep training.
It's all discipline, too, at the end of the day.
Sure is.
My advice for anybody listening to this is wake up 6 a.m. tomorrow, go on a little jog. That's it. Build that habit. It's a habit I'm trying to grow. I train every day, but I'm trying to wake up early. I'm trying to go on a jog every morning. And it's just simple as that. That little discipline you'll develop waking up on time every day and going on a little jog, that'll go the fucking farthest way.
It does, because motivation, and we can tell you, will peter out. And when motivation peters out, what do you fall back on? It's discipline. It's the discipline of doing it every single day. My favorite thing to do, some of these guys see me, some people see me on Facebook. Favorite thing in the morning is take my Staffordshire Terrier, Tanner, out for a walk on the trails. It's my favorite thing. Walk, we run. Those dogs love to be run, and they're very physical dogs. They're strong dogs, so they're really fun to go out on the trails with. And then afternoon, evening is when I'll do my resistance training typically. So that'll be my second workout of the day. And in between, it's primarily protein shakes and then just, lean meats, proteins. Luckily, we have chickens out here on the ranch, so we've got fresh eggs and duck eggs every day. It's fantastic.
I'd love to get an episode of just you working out.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Yeah,
we had talked about...
Get the cameras in there.
We had talked about doing that, so looking forward to it. So, is there anything else before closing out?
I mean, shit. Like you say, eat well, train, stay happy. That's it. It's key. Don't let things overwhelm you, especially while you're in the gym. One thing I'd like to go over is, for lifters, there's a fucking million different ways to lift. My favorite, personally, especially something that I've been relying on recently, is German volume. You take every exercise, you turn it into a 10 by 10.
So this is awesome. So I'm gonna have Ronnie actually explain to you, because he comes in talking to me and I've got it. We have the lingo, but they talk about a 5x5, a 5x10. I'm going to have him explain exactly what that means. Tell him what the 5 by that in their 10 by 10 is, because it's very important. Because there are so many different training methods, from that, like he's talking German volume, to like Tabata training, right? We can talk Tabata.
Yeah.
Tabata training, where you load, you do 20 seconds of work and then you rest for 10 seconds. So we can talk about Tabata. But again, he's talking German volume. Let's do a little German volume. Tell him about it.
Well, for me, a German volume is 10 by 10. You find 60% of whatever your exercise is. Like, for example, if you're benching 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying? You take that 100 pounds, you go down to fucking 60 pounds, and then you do 10 sets of 10 until you fucking can't anymore. And maybe you'll have to drop weight to finish up the rest of your sets, but at the end of the day, that's just what it takes. That's what German volume is. And also, fucking, you take that knowledge, you do 5x5s. I think on a 5x5, you operate at like 80% of your max?
80%, yep.
80%. And a 5x10, you maybe stick around the 70 to 60 range. With a normal German volume, you'd go to like 50 to 60. That's my favorite way to train, though, because that really brings the dog out of you. When you're getting into those, the set 8, 9, and 10, and you don't think you got it in you anymore, that's it. That brings the dog out of you.
Yeah, because think about 10 sets. It's brutal.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
Love it, though. Love it, though. On every exercise, a whole day like that, you're spent. You're spent, man. That's it. No matter what. Even if you're, like, doing a physical job, you know what I'm saying? I still don't feel like that's no reason not to go train.
No, it's not a reason, because still that winds up being your baseline anyway, is your job. So that's baseline. Always train, no matter what. I saw Ron in the gym last week. This is a great aside, but he did a very heavy leg day, and the way his cherry on the top of that workout was Stairmaster to finish it off. He jumped up next to me. I jumped up next to him, and I said, "What'd you train at?" He said, "Legs." I said, "Legs? My God." What a way to finish leg day. I mean, anyone who's done Stairmasters, especially if you do it for 45 minutes to an hour, I mean, your legs are toast at the end of that. So he just he torched his legs at the end of the leg workout. You talk about recruiting fibers, man. He did it.
Ruin it. Ruin your legs on a leg day.
Totally.
That's it. Ruin every...
And then eat like a beast.
That's it.
And then eat like crazy.
And not only that, but training, too. If you're training so heavily, you have so much more leg room to eat whatever the hell you want.
Sure do.
You know what I mean? Then you get to a point where you're like me. I was 293 pounds in March last year. This year, start of April, I'm 245 right now, 244 yesterday. But it's like, that's just 1 year of disciplined training, disciplined eating. And just,
it's an amazing result.
Yeah, that's it.
50 pounds?
50 pounds.
50 pound line. I mean, it just shows you.
We still got more to go, though. It's
No,
never over.
but it just it goes to show people that's what discipline does, and he's right, because that doesn't happen overnight. He just said a year, okay? So day in, day out, these are minuscule little changes, and the way I like to put it is I try to improve myself 1% every day. 1%.
Yeah.
That's when you see the results. The awesome sauce is, the discipline that you forge early, because I forged it at an early age, man, and I never looked back. Like I said, it was a small period after my mother had died in 2022 from the COVID vax. She was murdered by it, and after that, I had a very rough go of it, and the training was hit or miss. And but I've been back to twice a day for the most part now for years, so it's fantastic. I feel 100%. It's great to be back doing it.
I had a buddy of mine ask me today. He's like, I'm only benching 135. How do I get up to bench? And I just told him, bench 135 till you can't anymore. For me, at least, I benched 135 till I could hit it 25 times.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And then from that point, you could hit 225 a couple times. And it's all about taking what you can do and just doing it as much as you can until you could do more.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so when you hit a plateau like that, folks, the take home there is no matter what that weight is, or maybe it's a number of push-ups you can do, just keep maxing out the number you can do, the numbers of reps you can do, because with the reps, the strength comes.
That's the simple part of muscle growth. You break shit down, you build it back up with protein and how you eat. That's it. That's all training is.
100%.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, that was
It's a great episode,
Yeah.
man. I'm glad you got to tell them about the volume training, because I thought that was important. I wanted to talk functional training, but everybody out there knows there's so many different types of training. Like we
Yeah.
said, Tabata training, the old school bodybuilders, the volume training they did, and what Ron was talking about today, the German volume training. So I thought that was a neat twist to put in here, because there's functional training, but there's guys just like to go to the gym and really get at it. And so we're not against that either. We love the science-based training. We think it's fantastic. But, there's also nuances when you've been around that world for a long time
Yeah.
that you find out, kind of as you go.
There's truths in every way to train.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Simple as that. Don't stop. Yeah, that's it.
It was a fantastic episode,
Yeah,
man.
It was a great one. We can keep on going on about different ways of training, but it was a beautiful episode, man. It was great. Happy to eat this steak now.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be getting at the steak soon. And make sure you get down to Sunshine Supply, 352 Cava Kratom.
Yes, sir.
Come down and see us. That's where I hold court every day.
That's it. Great
We
episode.
talk medicine, we talk a lot of things, but we talk a lot of medicine down there.
Yeah, that's all.
And I always have my osteopathic table with me. Those of you who need to straighten out, we can
Yeah.
straighten you out at the same time.
Hell yeah. Great episode, man.